I've been reading through my comment section, and recently there's been a common theme that has been evolving. Guys are telling me, you know what, Paul? I want to come over there. I want to live the lifestyle that you live, but I can't afford and I can't seem to break the grip or the chains of the financial problems that are facing me right now. Things have changed since you moved there. And I hear you. You look at the freedom, you look at the lower cost of living, you look at the slower pace of life, and then you look at your bank balance and you feel like you're trapped in some kind of never ending cycle that you just can't seem to break free of. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's definitely not easy. The system is set up right now to keep you exactly where you are. You've worked all these years, all your life, and everything has been pretty much stable. But as of late, suddenly housing has jumped up to maybe double from what it was when I was there. I don't have to talk to you recently about the price of gasoline, people putting groceries on their credit cards. It seems like almost a never ending cycle, and you want to get out of it, but it's creating so much stress just to get through the month that the thoughts of trying to put aside a dollar or two are really starting to become a massive concern and a big burden. 70% of senior citizens live check to check. And I think 50% of the population in general doesn't have $1,000 in their savings account. So is there a solution to this? Is there an exit strategy? That's exactly what I want to cover and try to speak to you the way I spoke to myself when I was making the decision. Because believe it or not, my situation, although not as severe, was that not that much different from yours right now. So how do you resolve this situation that you're in so that you can break free of some of the financial burdens that you're experiencing and save up some money so that you can do a number of things? One, you can have a safety net when you come over here. I would say if you're figuring your budget to be $2,000 a month here, like mine is, then you need to save up at least 6 months worth of money that you set aside. That is your safety net to come over to the Philippines or any other country for that matter. And then, of course, you're going to need a cash flow, which for me is Social Security. And I'm going to assume that you have Social Security or a pension. I don't know what it is. I don't know how much it is, but mine is 2K. So you can take that and you can run with it and apply it to yourself either up or down. But the primary question is, how do I get out of the situation so I can start to put some money aside and make the move? I got to buy a plane ticket. I got to arrange for housing when I get there. I need to have not only 6 months worth of income set aside, but I need to have pocket money to come over there with. My exact numbers were this. I had $8,000 set aside for my safety net, and I had $6,000 in my pocket. And I'm going to tell you right now, that wasn't done overnight. It was more like chipping away at a piece of rock. And every day I told myself, Paul, put one foot in front of the other, make your money, and then live as small as humanly possible. I found it to be a bit uncomfortable because I got really small. What I want to express here is that it's not you punishing yourself. It's you setting yourself up for a future that will go on until the last breath that you take, that should be a big improvement over what you're experiencing right now. One way to effectively break out of that cycle, that hamster wheel that you're on, I feel for myself, what I did was I took an assessment and analyzed what I wanted and what I needed. And I was really kind of taken back by what I thought I really needed. And when I realized I didn't need to pay $190 a month so that I could have, 1,000 channels on a television set, of which I might have watched six, was the juice worth the squeeze on that? And I said, no. So boom, that got canceled. When I looked at my car payment, I said, what can I do here? I've got 5 years left on this. How do I get around it? I've got to pay the car off. I've got to have a car to drive. So I kept making the car payment. But 2 years prior to moving out here, I traded the car off for a 2 year lease. And at the end of the lease, I was able to walk away from the car. Problem solved. My car payment actually went down on the lease. That was maybe a unique situation for me. It may or may not apply to you, but it would be something I would encourage you to look at. Timing is everything. If you're looking into the future far enough, you can start to scope out these time frames, such as my car payment going down to 2 years on something that I knew I could just hand off the keys and say, bye-bye, I'm done. Thank you very much. Where did I live? Was I able to downsize? Well, for over a year, no, for 19 months, I slept on the floor at my sister's house. No more rent, no extravagant rent, I should say. I pay her $400 a month, which is about what I pay now. But I paid her $400 a month for the privilege of sleeping in her office in the house that she was renting. And it was fine. You know what? Did I like it? No. Did I get along great with my sister? No. Did I want to leave each and every day that I woke up? Yep. But then when I looked at the alternatives, I could have gotten an apartment for $800 a month back then. Now I understand it's more like 1,600. Anyway, did I do that? No. I bit my lip. I put one foot in front of the other, and I suffered with her as she suffered with me. God love her. God rest her soul. But that's what I did for 19 months, along with the car payment coming due 5 months after that. You see where I'm going with this. Let's talk about another way to save up some cash. If you look around and you're living in your house, or you have an apartment, or you have a storage shed, how much stuff do you have right now that you don't need? And first determine, what do you need? Well, you need a place to sit down and eat, and you need a place to sit down and relax, and you need a place to lie your head and go to sleep. And that's really about it. You need 5 bedrooms. You need HOA fees. You need to have a gardener. You need to have a pool cleaner. All these things that are going out every month, all of those can be canceled. Simply downsize. Simply, if it's possible, if you've got the house, well, hell, move into an apartment. You don't have to move in with my sister. Just downsize to an apartment, something that's less money. Do you have a garage filled with tools that you haven't used for 3 years? Sell them. I sold my kids old Nintendo games that they were bored with and their little controllers. Turned out that some of them were worth pretty good money because they were like collectibles. I had no idea. Put it up on Craigslist or whatever we used back then, and I turned a pretty penny on that. Um, when I left my house, I sold all the furniture. I got rid of that. And I took pennies on the dollar, but pennies on the dollar were better than no dollars at all. At the end, it added up to something, and it went into my nest egg. I did that for years. I don't pretend to know what your situation is, but I promise you this. If you stay there in the same quagmire and you just keep fighting the same battle month in and month out, in comes the paycheck, out goes the bills. Something's got to change. Can you take a second job? Can you relieve the pressure and the stress by starting to eliminate some of the things that you thought you needed, but was really just something that you wanted? I can't answer that for you. That's something that you would have to take a look at. But I promise you this, by suffering a little bit now, when I say suffer, boy, oh boy, we're talking about canceling some cable TV. We're talking about canceling the pool guy, the gardener. We're talking about going from a house to an apartment. If you're lucky, you can sell your house and make a profit or break even. I don't know your situation, but whatever it is, you can take clothes that you're no longer wearing, or definitely rewear the clothes that you're wearing, as opposed to running out once a month and picking yourself up a pretty new shirt or a new pair of shoes. I live over here. I own 2 pairs of shoes and a pair of flip-flops. That's it. And I had the same setup back in the States prior to moving out here. But before that, before I began my little road to financial recovery, I probably had 30 pairs of shoes that I wore for work or for this or for that. And did I make money on them? No. I just got rid of them. I stopped buying them, and I lived with what I had and made it work. So, downsizing, living small, having a little bit of pain in your life prior to the big reward at the end, I think is well worth it. Please feel free to let me know what you think and what your situation is. And if you think I'm full of shit, go ahead and say so. Or if you want to change it up, say something nice, you can do that too. All right, kids, we'll see you on the tube next time.